Outside the brand. This is episode 416 for your September 4th, 2023. I'm your host, Will, and of course, this is Outside the Brand. Thank you so much for joining us right here on your Monday nights, wherever you may be. Tonight's Monday Night Raw review. Guys, we just came off a hell of a main event for the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time after a hellacious fight for that Intercontinental Championship. That wasn't just a match. That wasn't just a match when it comes to the Intercontinental title. That was a fight. Gable put his heart and soul out there tonight. Gunther is now the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. He is legitimately becoming an unstoppable force in WWE. And nobody is able to stop this guy. Nobody. And I gotta figure this out. We all gotta figure this out. What is WWE going to do when it comes to Gunther and when it comes to the Intercontinental Championship? We gotta talk about it, and we gotta talk about it as a collective unit, because Gunther is easily becoming like a living legend in this business. And you can say what you want about how WWE is being run right now when it comes to Vince McMahon possibly being in charge, or Triple H having half and Vince having the other half, or whatever you want to say. But if there is one thing that WWE has gotten right, actually, no, if there are two things that WWE has gotten right in this time, in this new era of WWE when it comes to Triple H being in charge of head of creative, it is Gunther, and it is the Intercontinental Championship. The Intercontinental Championship looks so much better. It is main eventing shows. It is continuously putting on banger after banger after banger. Shout out to Sheamus. And, it's easily becoming one of the best parts of Monday Night Raw. A ton of people just tune in to Monday Night Raw to see what happens with the Intercontinental Championship with Gunther and whoever dares to step in his way. I love everything that WWE is doing right now with the Intercontinental Championship. I love everything that WWE is doing right now with Gunther. Chad Gable is easily becoming one of the most favorite parts of Monday Night Raw to me, because of just how organic he is when it comes to the crowd reaction, and just how organic of a rise he has had in WWE. The guy, starting off in NXT, tag team specialist with Jason Jordan, American Alpha, doing the dang thing, Then coming up to the main roster, American Alpha didn't really, pan out as much as basically everyone expected to. Then, he had some stuff going on with Shelton Benjamin. They had that team going for a little while. Then that split up, and then the whole, Shorty G thing happened. And then all of a sudden, when Otis lost his tag team partner in Tucker, when Tucker, got fired by the WWE, then they just started to pair up Otis and Gable. And nobody really expected anything of it. We really didn't think anything was going to come of it. We didn't really think anything was going to be, going to this extent. And then it turned out to be really good when it came to Alpha Academy. And then Maxine was put into the mix, and then, just things, snowballed up into the point where we see Chad Gable today. And Chad Gable today is absolutely one of the best parts of Monday Night Raw, period. I love everything that Chad Gable has been doing. And the organic rise of Chad Gable has been absolutely an amazing thing to see. This was a Monday Night Raw after WWE Payback. WWE Payback came off the heels of an amazing weekend of professional wrestling. WWE Payback on Saturday was fantastic. AEW All Out, when it came down to it, it didn't look like a good pay-per-view on card, but that turned out to be one of the best shows, honestly, of the entire year. And we'll talk about that as we head to Wednesday's Dynamite review. But we're here to talk about Monday Night Raw tonight. And Monday Night Raw tonight was not, as bad as I was, hoping. Or not hoping. I never hope for a bad show. Monday Night Raw was not as egregious as many people, probably thought it was going to be. And I think this show really did see some great points in there. Obviously, the debut of Jey Uso. Jey Uso is now on the Monday Night Raw roster. And Pierce said earlier on in the night that we're going to get some trade compensation for Jey Uso. So that's going to be very interesting. We'll see who gets traded over to Friday Night SmackDown. I think it's obviously going to be Cody, and I feel like a lot of people just feel it's going to be Cody. And, we're going to see where that goes along. Jey Uso is basically the new kid on the block when it comes to Monday Night Raw. The only person that really trusts him right now is Sami Zayn. Or is it? Because Dominic Mysterio showed up and talked to Jey Uso about possibly joining the Judgment Day, which is a very interesting path. I highly doubt that actually happens, but we'll see where that goes. We saw Ricochet take on Shinsuke Nakamura. Everything about the whole Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins feud continued tonight, so that is very interesting. I like that they are continuing on that feud because I want that feud to continue. The Miz did a skull-crushing finale to air. That was ridiculous. But I'm glad that they are continuing on the feud between Miz and LA Knight. The Miz and LA Knight has been absolutely fantastic. I did not want that to be a one-off at Payback. So I'm glad that they are continuing on that feud right there. Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle lost tonight to the Viking Raiders in a tornado tag team match. We'll get into that and how I think that is going to go down. Drew McIntyre is turning heel. He is going to be a heel moving forward. It just has to happen. There's going to be stuff within the next few weeks that'll make that happen. And it'll be Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre before we know it. So stay tuned when it comes to that. That's going to be awesome to see. We saw Raquel Rodriguez basically just decapitate Chelsea Green on national television. I mean, there was that. And then next week on Monday Night Raw, Dominic Mysterio will be banned from ringside as Rhea Ripley will have to defend her Women's World Championship against Raquel Rodriguez on Monday Night Raw next week. So that is going to be very interesting to take into account right there. Overall, guys, this was just a very, very good episode of Monday Night Raw. I mean, it's still a very long process to watch. It's 3 hours. Sometimes you just get tired watching the show, but overall, it was an okay show. It was an okay show. I just wish it wasn't 3 hours. Oh, and by the way, Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler mixed it up tonight. Zoe Stark had a hell of a performance against Shayna Baszler, and it looks like we could be seeing a possible pairing between the two. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I think it could actually work, but we'll see where things go from there, and I'll talk to you guys about that as we continue on with the Monday Night Raw post show. But guys, before we get started with the Monday Night Raw post show right here tonight on OTB, I want to thank you guys so much for all the love and support as of late. We just hit 960 subscribers on the channel. I can't wait to hit that 1,000. 760 subscribers on YouTube. Not 960. that's gonna come too, but it's 760 that we're at right now. I can't believe we're actually, that far into it. We are on the road to 1,000, so please hit that subscribe button if you have not already, and turn on the bell for all notifications that way you never miss when we go live. Go check out anything that you might have missed from last week's um, live streams. We got the Monday Night Raw post show. Here, I'll give you guys what we got going on from last week's schedule. So, last week we did, basically starting off with everything when it came to All In. We had an All In post show right here on OTB. We had an OTB Fantasy Football League draft. If you guys are kind of into that kind of ideal, we were not able to do a Monday Night Raw post show at that point in time, but it was what it was at that point in time. We had a Dynamite review from last week. We had the SmackDown review from last week. We did do a CM Punk being fired streamed from AEW. We talked about the CM Punk situation, how he got fired from AEW, and what we really think could be happening moving forward when it comes to AEW. We did an all-out post show, which I wasn't expecting to do an all-out post show, but we definitely did one because All Out turned out to be one of the best shows all year round. So go check out the All Out post show if you have not already. Me and Deontay did really well when it came to that. And now here tonight with the Monday Night Raw post show right here on OTB. So guys, follow me on social media on all social media platforms. That is TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, at @Philly_. You guys can continue to follow along with me when it comes to live tweeting the shows. I live tweet every single show, and I love talking to you guys over there on Twitter. So it was a great time over there. And that is honestly the best place that you can find all the streams and everything like that. I live tweet during the shows, and then I tweet the stream out to you guys. That way you guys can come in and watch the show. I also have the Discord, so I send the link to the Discord every single time. So if you guys want to join the Discord, you guys can actually join the channel. Join the OTB YouTube channel today and become a member, and you automatically get a link to the OTB Discord. The OTB Discord is a hell of a lot of fun. We don't just talk wrestling over there. We talk movies and sports. We talk food. There's a Try Not to Laugh page, so you can basically just send us, funny shit, and we just try not to laugh. And it's basically for live streams. Whenever he does stream, he just loves to go in there and just mess around. So that's awesome. The OTB Discord is absolutely a fun Discord to be a part of, because when you have TVs and movies, video games and music, sports, food, and the Try Not to Laugh social channels, it's absolutely a fun time, and you guys definitely don't want to miss out when it comes to that. So join the OTB YouTube channel today and get yourself a link to the OTB Discord directly sent by your boy. So that's awesome. And guys, we are just about to get ready for the Monday Night Raw post show right here on OTB. One more final thing before we get into everything. Let me tell you guys about tonight's sponsor, that being SeatGeek. SeatGeek is an official application you can get on your phone or use it on the interwebs, where you guys know you are getting the best deals when it comes to purchasing tickets. Go use SeatGeek today and use the code OTB at checkout for $20 off your first purchase using SeatGeek. It's an amazing deal. Money's tough nowadays. We gotta, keep everything together. But if you want to go to a Monday Night Raw, if you want to go to a Friday Night SmackDown, if you want to go to an AEW Dynamite, if you want to go to a pay-per-view, if you want to go to a concert, you want to go to football. Football is legitimately this Thursday, people. Week 1 of the NFL season starts this week. If you want to go to a football game, go use SeatGeek and use the code OTB at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. You're supporting the show. You're supporting yourself because you're saving some money. It's a win-win. It's a win-win for us, and it's a win-win for you. Thank you, SeatGeek, for being a part of the OTB YouTube channel's family. We love being a part of your family, and we know you love being a part of ours. So SeatGeek, OTB, and checkout get you $20 off your first purchase. Go get yourself some tickets today, and thank OTB while you're over there. So, let's get right into Monday Night Raw. Alright, guys. We kicked off Monday Night Raw tonight with Jey Uso. Main event. Jey Uso is here on Monday Night Raw. And WWE's newest member of the Raw roster, I should say, is here. And he makes his way to the ring through the crowd. Jey enters the ring, and the Uso chants pick up. Jey says that he appreciates that, but he's always wanted to do this next part. He gets himself composed, ready to shout, "Welcome to Monday Night Raw." The crowd gives him a very nice ovation. A louder Uso chant starts up, and Jey says he's only been gone for 2 to 3 weeks, but he has missed them. It felt longer than that. Jey really had his breaking point every week on national television. He was fighting with his family. The family feud for real. Out of the blue, an unexpected call from the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes happened, and Jey says that he's on Main Event Mondays by himself. He might have created some enemies in the back because of his past, but they know where to find him. Main Event Jey Uso is now in your city. He does his hand gesture, and Sami Zayn makes his way to the ring. His music hits, he slowly walks to the ring, and Zayn and Jey have some very real history with each other because, Sami was a part of the Bloodline at one point. And Zayn enters the ring, and an Usi chant picks up. So, obviously, the whole Usi thing, loved it. Zayn says that it's pretty crazy to see Jey standing here. And a lot has happened over the last couple of months. What he has said is true, though, but one thing that is definitely true is that many people will have a problem with him being around here now. So, Zayn and Kevin Owens haven't always seen eye to eye when it comes to him, and Owens isn't here tonight. Tonight is all about Jey, and Zayn wanted to make sure he was the first person he saw on Monday Night Raw so he could look him in the eyes and tell him straight to his face that he is happy that Jey Uso is here. So, Jey snares at him. Zayn says that he knows Jey and knows what it is and knows what is in his heart. Everything he did in the past few months had to be hard, but he did it. Jey broke free. Now Jey is standing here on his own 2 feet by himself. Jey truly is Main Event Jey Uso. Another Uso chant fires back up. Zayn says that he knows that they have a lot of history, and Zayn isn't expecting them to be buddies overnight, but Zayn says that he is really proud of him, and he extends a handshake. Jey then stares back at Sami Zayn, but he won't shake his hand, and Zayn slowly puts it down, saying, "Look, like I said, I know we aren't going to be friends overnight. Whenever you are ready to talk, I'm here." Zayn then goes to leave, but Jey calls him back and says, "That wasn't very Usi of me, wasn't it?" The crowd cheers, obviously. Zayn and Jey Uso hug it out in the ring to a huge ovation, and Jey celebrates on the turnbuckle as Zayn leaves the ring and lets him soak in the adulation from the fans. This was fantastic. I loved everything about this. Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, these guys obviously have a ton of history with each other when it comes to the whole bloodline situation. This was just awesome to see. This was a great way to just continue on with their friendship, with their budding relationship with each other. I loved it. Now we got to figure out what Kevin Owens has to say about this because Kevin Owens wasn't here tonight. Kevin Owens will obviously probably be watching at home, so when he catches footage of this, when he catches wind of this, maybe they're going to see something going on between Sami and KO because, Sami just all of a sudden went right back to Jey Uso. It's going to be very interesting to see where that goes, but I'm going to be very, it's going to be a very interesting thing to keep an eye on. So let's keep an eye out on that for sure, because that's going to be awesome to just, keep an eye on for. So as Jey Uso heads up the ramp, Drew McIntyre's music hits for his match against the Viking Raiders with Riddle, and McIntyre has an intense stare down with Jey. Zayn steps between them and says, look, this is not the time or place. It's his first night. Give him some time. And McIntyre walked off. But then Matt Riddle's music hits, and they have a little bit of a stare down because these two also have a lot of issues with each other because of the bloodline. And basically, Sami Zayn did the exact same thing. It's not the right time or place. Go do your match. And Riddle looks at Jey before walking away. So then we get right into after a commercial break, we got into the match between the Viking Raiders and Drew McIntyre and Riddle. But Ricochet is backstage with WWE official Adam Pearce. Ricochet says that he wants a new opportunity after what happened at SummerSlam. Pearce says that he is working on it, but quickly runs off to talk to the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, who showed up tonight. Pearce says that medical did not clear him to be here tonight, so he doesn't understand why he is here. Rollins says that this is Monday Night Raw. I am totally fine. I am the world champion on Monday Night Raw, so I should be here. Ricochet walks up and says that he has all the respect in the world for what Rollins did at WWE Payback, but Rollins doesn't need to be putting all that weight on his shoulders. Rollins assures to both of them that he is fine, and then he walks off. So, then we get into this Tornado Tag Team match after commercial break. The Viking Raiders versus Matt Riddle and Drew McIntyre. This is really good. This is really good here. We saw a lot of great action between these two. I'm loving that the Viking Raiders are actually being utilized now on Monday Night Raw. A lot of people don't like the Viking Raiders, and I understand why. I understand why. But the Viking Raiders are a good asset to the tag team division. It's just they don't ever get the time to prove it. But now they are getting the time to prove it, and they have been absolutely fantastic since being showcased on Monday Night Raw. The Viking Raiders go for Ragnarok through the commentary table, but McIntyre, but Riddle breaks that up. Riddle then gets into the ring and puts the table into the middle of the ring. Riddle puts Eric on the table, but Valhalla distracts him. Ivar kicks Riddle in the head, and the table is repositioned. The Viking Raiders go for Ragnarok through the table, but Kofi Kingston comes out of nowhere and attacks them. Kingston hits some kicks. Ivar ducks a Trouble in Paradise, and it hits Riddle instead. The Viking Raiders then grab Kingston and wall dart him into Drew McIntyre. The Viking Raiders then hit Riddle with a Ragnarok through the table, and that is how the Viking Raiders picked up the win. It was a fun Tornado Tag Team match. The Viking Raiders are just being presented as dominant monsters right now in this whole thing to basically just set up McIntyre's heel turn on Riddle or on Kofi Kingston. And it's going to be very interesting to see what they do from here on out and what Drew McIntyre does as a heel moving from here on out. So, really cool stuff there. Then, after another commercial break, we have the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, as he is going to be addressing Shinsuke Nakamura's attack. So, this was really, really good here. I loved everything about this. So, World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins is in the ring. He is pumped up. He welcomes everybody to Monday Night Rollins. Rollins says that Charlotte is hot tonight, but he has been the hottest. Oh, okay. I think we're back now. What the hell? 2 days ago at WWE Payback, um, they had he and Shinsuke had a hell of a match. Gave him everything that he could. Nakamura put a bullet in his back and dropped bombs on him all night long. There were a few points where he didn't know if he could get up and continue the fight, but Rollins smiles and shows off the World Heavyweight Championship around his waist. The last time he checked, he is still the World's Heavyweight Champion. One thing hasn't been sitting right with him over the past 2 days, and that is even though he beat Nakamura in the end to retain the championship, he was able to walk out of the building while Rollins was pushed out in a wheelchair by his wife. That just doesn't sit right with him, and Rollins wants to right some wrongs right here in Charlotte. Rollins calls Nakamura out and says he'll make his dreams come true. Shinsuke's music hits, and the King of Strong Style makes his way out into the entrance ramp. Rollins calls him to get to the ring. Nakamura does not respond. Rollins knows that the only way that he'll get him to the ring is if by giving him what he wants again, and that is another World Heavyweight Championship match right here tonight. Nakamura gives a, gives this iconic look on the face, and just starts to walk towards the ring, but then he turns back. Nakamura lifts the microphone up and speaks in Japanese. Rollins looks confused. He says, "Look, I can only pretend to understand what you're saying, so I'm thinking that you legitimately just said you're on, and we need a referee out here because we are going to have a World Heavyweight title match tonight." Then Nakamura says no, and Rollins looks confused. Nakamura said no again, and Rollins paces in the ring and wants to clarify this. Are we having a World Heavyweight Championship rematch or not? Yes or no? And Nakamura says no. Rollins says that that isn't going to work for him. He gets that it is Labor Day, but it is Monday Night Raw. Rollins is clocked in. Whether Nakamura wants it or not, he'll give it to him. And Rollins runs out of the ring to attack Nakamura. Rollins' back has, the athletic tape on it, kinesis tape on it, and the brawl begins between Nakamura and Rollins up until the point where referees and WWE officials break it up, and Nakamura breaks free and viciously knees Nakamura viciously knees Rollins in the back. Nakamura then knees him a few more times in the back, and then Ricochet runs out and pushes Nakamura away before checking on Rollins. I like that the feud is continuing. I really do. I like that the feud is continuing because I really did want this feud to continue. I want to see where they can go when it comes to Shinsuke Nakamura and when it comes to Seth freaking Rollins. No pun intended, because I know that is his name now. I just wanted to see what happens. I really do. I think Nakamura is a World Heavyweight Championship caliber superstar. I really do think he is a World Championship. He needs a World Championship eventually. in, his WWE run. And I think that if Nakamura could just get a world title run, people could get behind it because people wanted him to be a world champion for a long time. And maybe this is the way to get it. It's just Rollins is on a hell of a run right now as World Heavyweight Champion. They need to continue him on this path. It's just that 2 times now, when you've seen the challengers of the World Heavyweight Championship that should have became champion. I really do think Finn Balor could have been a World Heavyweight Champion if WWE actually done it. And Nakamura at Payback. That match is so good. Why couldn't they give him a shot to be a world champion? I don't know, but I'm glad that they're continuing on this feud. We'll see where it goes from there. I absolutely love it, and I can't wait to see what they do. So WWE official Adam Pearce, after commercial break, was trying to speak to Seth Rollins, but Rollins wasn't really having it. They were arguing backstage. Pearce says that he's trying to prevent Rollins from running himself into the ground, and Rollins says that he doesn't want to hear it, and then he storms off. Then we had Nakamura take on Ricochet in an impromptu matchup here, and this was good for what it was. I mean, we've seen this before, so I wasn't really too, invested into this as, you probably should be. Ricochet tries to get Nakamura up, but Nakamura drives him right into the ring post. Nakamura sends him into the barricade and backs up. Nakamura charges, and Ricochet drops him into the timekeeper's area. Ricochet attacks Nakamura, but Nakamura knocks him over the barricade, and Nakamura grabs a steel chair and hits Ricochet in the back with it, causing a disqualification. And it was right in front of his fiancée, the ring announcer, who is Samantha Irvin. So, yeah, it caused a disqualification. This was a DQ finish. Ricochet won by that disqualification, and Nakamura hits Ricochet in the back again before getting him in the ring. Nakamura puts a chair around Ricochet's head and backs up. He looks like he is basically getting ready to knee the chair right into the throat of Ricochet, up until the point where World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins runs down to make the save. Rollins tackles him and punches him away. Security then runs down to pull Rollins and Nakamura apart. Rollins sends 2 security guards over the top rope and wipes them both out with a somersault senton. Rollins then grabs Nakamura, but Nakamura immediately shoves him spine first into the ring steps, and Nakamura stomps away at the back, but runs off before Ricochet, got the steel chair and is basically getting to save Rollins once again on Monday Night Raw. So Rollins is in a lot of pain at this point. Priest and Ripley are in the back watching all of this go down, and Priest, while he's tapping on his Money in the Bank briefcase, Ripley says, "Not tonight. Not tonight." Rollins then gets to his feet and says that he is fine when officials try to look at him. So, I'm loving all of this. What's up, Scarlett? How are you? Yeah, but this was really good. Really good follow-up there for Seth and Shinsuke. Can't wait to see where they go from there, and I want more from these two. So give it to me. Then we had Zoe Stark in the backstage interview, and Jackie Redmond says that it looks like the partnership between her and Trish Stratus is over. And, Zoe said that she has nothing but respect when it comes to Trish Stratus, but now she needed to step away and basically, just go on her own path. She proved that she is the greatest of all time. Still, nobody pushes Zoe Stark. And Shayna Baszler walks up, and Baszler was wondering when Stark was going to get rid of that baggage. I need Drew versus Cody. Oh yeah, Drew versus Cody is definitely going to happen. Scarlet, for sure. For sure. Um, so yeah. So we basically got an impromptu match, there when it came to Stark and Shayna Baszler. Everything changed when she got rid of Ronda Rousey. Stark suggested that they go one-on-one tonight to see who the baddest woman in WWE truly is, and Baszler accepted. The Judgment Day make their way to the ring, and the Judgment Day are all dressed in gold. Tag Team gold, North American Championship gold, Women's World Championship gold. They're all dressed in gold. And we're going to hear from them next. So, that was that. After commercial break, we see the Judgment Day in the ring. Damian Priest shouts to everybody that they need to rise for the Judgment Day because they are dripping in gold. Dominic then starts to speak, but obviously the crowd loudly boos him. And you can clearly hear, you can barely hear him over the noise. Mysterio says that they did what they set out to do on Saturday, and that is walk away with every single championship. Balor thanks Mysterio and congratulates him on being, in the Judgment Day for 1 year. Balor also wants to thank Rhea Ripley for being the voice of reason. And as for Priest, they had their ups and downs, but now they are the undisputed tag team champions. Balor gives a shout out to JD McDonough for always having his back for over the last 20 years. Finally, Balor wants to thank himself because now he is finally a Grand Slam champion. And the fans chant, "You deserve it." Ripley says that, look, we all know that Balor deserves it. Last week, she gave him an ultimatum. The pressure was on, but Balor and Priest really rose to the occasion and showed everyone why that they are truly brothers. They truly are family. And Ripley says that she loves them. There is one thing that has been aggravating her as of late, though. The focus has been on the Judgment Day and not on their accomplishments. Instead, people are talking about Jey Uso coming here to Monday Night Raw, and that means the Bloodline. As far as she knows and is concerned, the Bloodline has fallen, and the Judgment Day have only risen to be the most dominant faction in WWE. JD McDonough makes his way to the ring, and the fans are chanting. He has a black bag with him, and Priest stops him, and Priest says that, a small part of him was actually, starting to like him up until the point where he just came out here tonight. So please make it quick. Explain yourself and make it quick. It's the least that he can do. So, McDonough is out here because something Rhea Ripley said last week is 100% the truth. That Money in the Bank briefcase has to go. Priest looks confused, and McDonough says they have all the gold. Priest doesn't need that briefcase anymore. He needs this one. And he pulls out a custom-made Money in the Bank briefcase for Damian Priest. It's all purple. It has Senor Money in the Bank on it. It looks great. I love it. I think it's an absolutely amazing briefcase. So he says you should have this one instead. McDonough reveals this purple briefcase for him that says Senor Money in the Bank. And Priest holds it up and is basically accepting this gift from JD McDonough. Sami Zayn says, Sami Zayn's music hit. He comes out, and he is basically, he's frustrated. He's frustrated at everything. Zayn says, gentlemen and Dom, Kevin Owens isn't here tonight, but after it took all 5 of them to rob them of the Undisputed Tag Team titles, they had really think they'd let that slide. They're bragging about holding all the gold, but he doesn't see 5 champions when he looks in the ring. He sees 5 championship stealing turds. A very big, uh, beating is reserved for the biggest turd of them all, and that is Dominic Mysterio. Zayn says that Mysterio has the cojones to accept the fight, and McDonough says that Mysterio isn't fighting anyone tonight. If Zayn wants to pick a fight with somebody, he should pick a fight with McDonough. And Zayn says that McDonough deserves an ass kicking, so he accepts, and they'll see each other later on tonight. So it's really cool seeing the Judgment Day dressed in gold, people. I mean, seriously, I love the Judgment Day. All rise for the Judgment Day. Judgment Day are absolutely fantastic, and they are legitimately the most dominant stable in WWE. I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and we gotta, continue on this path, and hopefully JD McDonough joins the Judgment Day very, very soon, because I want JD McDonough in the Judgment Day. What is the problem here, people? We need him in the Judgment Day. They're doing this long-term type of deal here, and they need to make it happen. All rise. All rise. Scarlett. Yes. All rise. Blank, blank, period. They need to make it happen. So it's just really good stuff by Judgment Day. It's just awesome. It's awesome stuff between these guys. So during the night, we saw video packages of past Intercontinental champions, seeing basically, if Gunther is going to be able to basically, continue being a part of history, because he was fighting to become the longest reigning Intercontinental champion of all time. So Gunther is shown backstage, and he is speaking in his native tongue. Gunther says that Gable thinks that he can stand in the way of him and his legacy. Who does Gable think he is? Tonight, history is going to be made. Someone like Gunther doesn't belong in the history books, and Gunther and Gable's fairy tale story is temporary. Tonight, he'll go down as the greatest and longest reigning Intercontinental champion in history. In tonight's main event, Gunther will be defending that Intercontinental Championship against Chad Gable, and if he does win tonight, he will be officially the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. So that's what was on the line tonight. History was on the line tonight. Not just the IC title, but history. So we come back from commercial break, and WWE official Adam Pearce is backstage with Raquel Rodriguez. Pearce says that he'll work on making that official. We are not sure what that is up until this point. Then Women's Tag Team Champion Chelsea Green walks up to him, and Green says that it doesn't look like, he received his text, because, Green says that she just doesn't want to wait in line anymore. Pearce says that Piper is not even medically cleared to compete, so Green says that people are saying that the titles are cursed because of that, but she doesn't believe that. Pearce implies that maybe Green is the one that is cursed, and she asked what he was talking about with Raquel. Pearce says that's actually none of your business to know about that, but perhaps they were talking about how she is just a loser. Raquel Rodriguez is obviously standing right behind her at this time. She asked Rodriguez, how long were you standing there? And Rodriguez says, long enough. So she asked Pearce to basically make it official, and he did. It'll be Raquel versus Chelsea Green tonight on Raw. So, there you go. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Okay match for what it was. Really, really good match, actually, between these guys. It was by a technical knockout, this finish was, because Baszler didn't really make Zoe tap out. She just passed out, and Shayna and both Zoe and Shayna are killing it. Scarlett, I mean, I really do love what they did here. Stark punches Baszler out of the ring, and Stark hits a splash off the apron to the floor and gets her back into the ring. Baszler avoids a slingshot twisting senton from the ropes and applies a Kirifuda clutch. Starks then fights out of it and manages to, twist out for just a little bit up until Starks got to her feet, but Baszler pulled her down once again into another Kirifuda, and Starks is fading away, but she continues to fight, and the referee eventually calls for the bell due to a technical knockout because she wasn't able to really, respond to the referee. So called it a technical knockout. There you go. Bob's your uncle, and Shayna Baszler won this match. After the match, Baszler is celebrating, but she approaches Stark, who says that, look, you gave me a better fight than Ronda ever did. And Stark said basically the same thing. He's like, hey, you gave me a better fight than Trish. So then they fist bumped, and they went their separate ways. Who knows what this is leading to? I really don't know. I'm honestly thinking they could possibly be doing some sort of pairing between these two. Zoe Stark had her little thing with Trish, and it was okay for what it was at the start. But obviously, the Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus feud sucked the air out of the buildings that they were in. And hopefully, if they actually do this pairing now between Zoe and Shayna, it could work. I really do think it can work, and I think these two really would complement each other quite well. So, I'd be down to see it. I don't know if anybody else would, but I would be totally down to see it and see where things go from there. So, this is interesting. A very, very interesting match, and it would work if they ever paired up together. So, Judgment Day are backstage. Finn Balor says that it might be time to bring JD McDonough into the Judgment Day, but Damian Priest says that he agrees, but wants him to prove himself a little bit more. And Balor thinks that, they might not be champions if it wasn't for JD. Balor asked what Mysterio thought, and Mysterio says, look, I'm cool with whatever you guys want to decide with. I'm cool with it. And he asked Mommy what she thought, and Ripley says that she should see how he does against Sami Zayn tonight. Balor believes that they'll get this done, and asks if Priest wants to help. And Priest says, you know what? Yeah, I'll help you out with this. So he walks out with Finn. Ripley tells Mysterio that she wants him to make sure everything goes right when it comes to this match with JD and Sami Zayn. So he will walk out, but they said that they'll talk about that other thing later. And Mysterio got up and walked away. So whatever that other thing is could be very interesting. Maybe it has something to do with Judgment Day. Maybe it has something to do with their personal relationship outside the ring. Buddy, I'd be watching out. I'd be watching out, Buddy Matthews. Things can happen. Things can happen. Trust me, I know. They're goddamn engaged. But, dude, they play it up so well. They play it up so well. Ugh. Raquel Rodriguez versus Chelsea Green. This was basically just a fucking massacre. This was just a beatdown. Green slides away and slips and slaps her in the face. Raquel is infuriated by this, does a vicious clothesline, and then does the Tahana Bomb for the win. And that was it. I mean, Raquel just basically killed her on national television. It's crazy. But it was good. It was good for what it was. Um, I mean, as good as a squash match can be. So Raquel grabbed the microphone and said that earlier tonight she spoke with Adam Pearce and basically said that it's going to be made official. Rhea Ripley is not going to have her dirty Dom because they're going to be going at it 1-on-1 for the Women's World Championship with Dom being banned from ringside. Alpha Academy is backstage. Chad Gable says that Gunther thinks that a guy like him doesn't belong in the history books, but Gable says that he is already in the history books. Gable's an Olympian. He has a master's degree. He is a valedictorian. He raises everyone to the newest of levels, and he is forever going to be a tag team specialist, and he's won all tag team gold in this company. In front of his family, in front of his friends, he'll show that Gunther's desire to keep his championship doesn't match to Gable's desire of taking it from him. Then we got to this Miz TV segment. And, well, first of all, this whole Drew McIntyre thing with Kingston. Riddle tells Drew to calm down. McIntyre says he can't stand that Jey Uso is on Monday Night Raw. He gave Jey Uso a pass tonight, and if Jey messes things up, which he believes that he will, Cody Rhodes is going to have something to say about it. And Kingston walks up to them and apologizes, but McIntyre accuses Kingston of doing it on purpose. McIntyre says that he'll keep an eye on him as well to make sure that no more accidents happen. And McIntyre walks off. Kofi told Riddle to go talk to his bro. Then we got into this Miz TV segment with special guest John Cena. This was ridiculous. I mean, they legitimately played it to the fact that we could not see him. Miz is hilarious. I love it. I love his, comedic aspects into the whole thing. But the special guest referee didn't need to happen at Payback. And I'm sorry to say that. If people really liked that, Cena was the special guest referee, cool. I just didn't think it was needed. I really didn't. But it was good for what it was. Miz talked to the invisible John Cena. Gave him a skull-crushing finale. He did a skull-crushing finale to the air. And then he talked his talk about LA Knight. And really, that's what was the special part about this segment here. Not the whole thing with John, because John Cena doesn't exist. He wasn't here tonight. Miz says that there is nothing invisible or imaginary about what happened to him at Payback. Miz challenged LA Knight to a one-on-one match with no special guest referee or surprises. If he accepts, he'll find out whose game it really is. The chance will end and LA Knight will fade away. His future success is about to become as realistic as the invisible John Cena in the ring. This isn't make-believe. This LA Knight fairy tale that they are buying into, they being the fans, will come crashing down because he is the Miz and he is awesome. This segment was fine. I just didn't give a shit about what they did with the whole invisible John Cena thing. People love to twist my words around. Somebody, I said, what the fuck are they honestly doing when it comes to them, playing up to the fact that we legitimately can't see John Cena? It's ridiculous. And people are like, Phil, that segment was great. I'm not saying that the whole segment was bad. I just said, I didn't care for the whole Cena and Miz part, the Cena and Miz part. Everything else that he said about LA Knight and the whole LA Knight part of the whole thing was great. I loved the feud of LA Knight and The Miz. I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And they did really, really well with this. I just didn't give a shit about the John Cena aspect of it. Because John Cena didn't really need to be a part of this. He didn't need to be the special guest referee. It is what it is. But we're going to get a second match here between these guys, and we're most likely going to get a third. I would end this thing at WWE Fastlane, and that's it. But that's just where I would end it for me. So, there you go. So Jey Uso is backstage after a commercial break. Akira Tozawa sees him and he walks the other way. Adam Pearce catches up with him, and SmackDown will get a trade compensation pick for Jey Uso coming to Monday Night Raw. Depending on who that is, it might piss some people off, so he wants Jey to know that and got the head up. Jey thanks him and walks off. Tommaso Ciampa then comes up to Pearce and asks if they can finish that talk. Pearce says yes they can, and they head into his office. Hopefully that means DIY. Sami Zayn and JD McDonough happens here. Cool match for what it was. Zayn puts McDonough on the top rope, but McDonough knocks him away. Zayn avoids a dive, so McDonough lands on his feet. Zayn hits an exploder suplex in the corner. Zayn goes for a liver kick, but Dominic Mysterio pulls McDonough out of the ring, and an irate Sami Zayn attacks Mysterio at ringside with a clothesline. Zayn then punches away at Mysterio, and Zayn then goes back in to attack McDonough and puts him into the ring. Mysterio then gets on the apron and eats a right hand. McDonough then rolls Zayn up for the win. 1, 2, 3. So McDonough won. Fantastic decision. Really, really good decision there. A furious Zayn grabs Mysterio at ringside and punches away at him before putting him in the ring. Mysterio then tries to crawl out, and JD's like, come on, you can get out of there. And McDonough watches from the apron and does nothing. Zayn then sets up for a liver kick, but McDonough pulls him out of the ring and sends him into the ring post. McDonough then tells Mysterio to get out of here, just run away, and Mysterio leaves the ring. Zayn then attacks McDonough and hits an exploder suplex in the corner. Zayn is then crushing McDonough with a liver kick, and Mysterio never returned to help him. So that's a very interesting point right there. JD did everything that he could to help out Dom, but Dom didn't do anything to help out JD. Interesting development there. So we'll see where that goes. And I'm interested to see where JD McDonough and the Judgment Day fit, because Mysterio did what Mommy asked of him to do. Helped JD get the win. And now we gotta see where things go from there. So it's cool. It's cool. Little subplot there when it comes to the Judgment Day. Why didn't Dom help JD after the fact? He helped JD win the match, but after the fact, when he was getting beaten down by Sami, why didn't he help him out? Cool little subplot there. So we then... Okay, hold on one sec. I hate that my phone just randomly just reconnects to something. So Dominic Mysterio is walking backstage with JD McDonough when the rest of Judgment Day comes up to congratulate him. And Mysterio walks off and stops in front of Jey Uso. Mysterio says that they both come from messed up families, and Hall of Fame fathers. He knows that Jey Uso is going. He knows what Jey Uso is going through right now. Everyone respects his father, but no one knows what it's like at home. Mysterio knows what Jey Uso is going through, and Jey comes from a broken family. Jey has no family. No one likes him, just like no one likes Dominic. Ever since Mommy and the Judgment Day came into his life, there are no leaders. There's only equals. If Jey wants, he can talk to the Judgment Day. There's always going to be room for him with open arms for them here. They know what it's like. Mysterio then tells Jey just to think about it. Judgment Day is there with open arms. Mysterio then thanks him for his time and hearing him out. And then Mysterio tells him to think about it. This whole little subplot here now with Jey possibly joining the Judgment Day, that's just odd. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but they're obviously setting something up when it comes to that, right? So let's see where that goes. Very, very interesting when it comes to that aspect. So then we got this Intercontinental Championship match. Main event time, Intercontinental title on the line. Gunther defends against Chad Gable. Fucking incredible. They gave this match a hell of a lot of time, and I loved it all. Gable goes to the top rope and goes for a moonsault, but Gunther gets his boot up. But Gable grabs the leg and applies an ankle lock. The crowd is going wild at this point. Gable, grapevines the leg and cinches it in. Gunther twists and turns until Gable let go. Gunther applies a rear naked choke on Gable, but Gable fights up, and a Gable chant fires up within the arena in Charlotte. Gable then falls back into a roll, and Gunther kicks up at the count of 2. Gunther immediately then grabs him into another sleeper hold and spikes him on his head in a vicious suplex. Gunther then hit a powerbomb, followed up with that killer lariat that he does. That basically decapitates his opponents. And that is how Gunther retains the championship, and now he is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. And he won. He is still the Intercontinental Champion. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Now, Gunther's the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. Gable is easily becoming one of my favorite parts of Monday Night Raw, period. Everybody loves Gable. Everybody loves the organic rise of Chad Gable. Everybody loves Gunther. This is the third match between these guys. And I love that we got to a third match. But I just want more. I want more of these guys. I really do. I want a fourth match. And that fourth match only has one destination. That is WWE Fastlane. And I want it to be a 30-minute Ironman match. I want this match to happen at WWE Fastlane. And guys, it's something that, I think everybody would just love. I think a 30-minute Ironman match between these two would just be fantastic. Really just seeing what these guys can do in 30 minutes. And honestly, just really proving that the Intercontinental Championship could be that championship in WWE, even though we all know how great the Intercontinental Championship is. I think the Intercontinental Championship in a 30-minute Ironman match at WWE Fastlane would be an incredible way to end Gunther's IC title run and giving it to Chad Gable in that 30-minute Iron Man match would be just an amazing way to cap off an incredible reign and to start a new one under Chad Gable. I think it would be a perfect way to, just, cap it off in a really good way. And that's how I would do it. Seriously. I would love to see that happen. I hope you guys would love to see that happen. I think everybody wants to see this match again. It's just a matter of how they get there and what they want to do when it comes to a stipulation for this matchup. Because I feel like a stipulation would have to come. So that's what I would do. I honestly loved Monday Night Raw tonight. I think Monday Night Raw tonight was honestly really, really good. It just is so goddamn long. It's a goddamn long process. It's 3 hours you never get back. But man, when you get shows like this, when you get main events like that, watching this show is a lot more special than what people make it out to be. So, guys, that's it. That's your Monday Night Raw post show for tonight, right here on OTB. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Scarlett, thank you so much for joining me in the chat for the time that you did. I love you, girl. And we will talk to you and basically anybody else that wants to listen right here on OTB next time, as we'll get to you guys. I can talk to you guys tomorrow if everybody's down for another Monday. If everybody's down for another stream, we can do something tomorrow. We can talk Payback because we didn't do a Payback review. Even though I wanted to, I was just in Philly for the time being. And we can talk Payback. We can just talk pro wrestling. I'll let you guys know. But the real next post-show review will be Dynamite this coming Wednesday. The fallout from All Out happens on that Wednesday, so we'll see where things go from there. But guys, thank you so much for joining us right here on OTB. And I'll see you guys when I see you. Have a good rest of the night. Stay safe. God bless. And peace.